Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. Patch 10.5 update went live just the other day, bringing with it new open world content, features, quest lines, and with it new and returning players making their comeback to check out the newest update. And if you're one of those returning players that's been away from the game for some time, there's a good chance you might be behind on your equipment, and are looking to catch up as quickly as possible. As someone who manages multiple alts and gears, all of them every single week, I've been able to get much better at maximizing my item level gains while also being time efficient, and I've put together all of my methods in this video to help you get gear, acquire tier, and upgrade all of your items as quickly and efficiently as possible. But right before we get into this quick catch-up guide for the patch 10.5, most of you guys watching these kind of guide videos on the channel are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do, so let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get more regular content regarding Dragonflight 10.2 or any of the future updates going forward. First of all, let's go over how to gear efficiently through open world content. And the very first place you should visit is the Emerald Dream, where you'll want to pick up 3 quests. The first one is a Worthy Ally, a weekly faction quest where you'll need to earn reputation with the Dream Wardens. To do so, we'll also pick up the Super Bloom quest, which has you participate in the Super Bloom activity, which occurs every hour within the Emerald Dream, and awards 1000 reputation to get you most of the way through the Worthy Ally quest. Another quest you'll want to pick up is Bloomin' Dream Seeds, which is a quest where you need to plant 5 dream seeds all throughout the Emerald Dream. If you have enough renown with the Dream Wardens faction, you can simply purchase these seeds directly, otherwise you'll need to obtain them through treasures, rares, world quests, and even the Super Bloom event. And while you're looking for seeds, majority of the open world activities can also award you reputation. But also planting blue and purple seeds and nourishing them to at least blue or purple quality rewards also awards you reputation as well. Completing any one of these quests will award you with veteran track gear, which can then be further upgraded to an item level of 463, which is relatively close to normal raid gear quality. And while you're out in the Emerald Dream, you might as well tackle on the world boss of Aurastor for a chance at champion track gear, which can eventually be upgraded to a maximum item level of 476. You should also be on the lookout for weekly events which appear periodically in your calendar. Specifically, we're talking about the time walking events as well as Dragonflight dungeon bonus events. Because during Dragonflight dungeon week, you'll be able to get heroic raid quality gear for completing 4 easy Mythic Zero dungeons, which are not that difficult to find groups for. However, time walking weekly events can offer even greater rewards. Similar to the Dragonflight dungeon event, time walking weekly events will also offer normal raid quality gear for either completing 5 time walking dungeons or defeating 5 time walking raid bosses. Each time walking weekly event has a corresponding expansion attached to it. This recent one was the Wrath of the Lich King time walking week, and I spent the entire last week taking every single one of my alts through time walking Ulduar. And doing so has been the best and the easiest way to get some gear during time walking weekly events. Every single boss inside of a time walking raid has a chance of dropping normal raid quality gear that's equivalent to something you'll be able to earn in Season 3 Emergency Raid. Every single one of the time walking raids also has a quest for defeating the final boss of that instance, which awards you with heroic raid gear, allowing me to outfit my alts with a ton of new upgrades. What makes time walking raids even easier to get into is because everything is scaled down to match the time walking level of that instance. Because everything is scaled down, this means that gear has less of an impact when it comes to your maximum performance, since most characters will be scaled to the same item level. In fact, certain powerful items from older expansions, such as the Heart of Azeroth with its essences, or even old expansion legendaries and trinkets, can even perform better because of this time walking scaling. This makes it much easier to join some of these time walking raids, where every single boss you slay has a chance of dropping normal gear, and finishing out the quest for the final boss drops you heroic quality gear upgrades. But outside of the special weekly events, we have the normal endgame progression of raids, dungeons, and Mythic Plus in Season 3. For this part of the video though, I will mostly focus on the tips and the device on how to maximize these in-game activities as a solo player. However, there's a lot that could be said about the gear upgrade system of Dragonflight, as well as the end-game progression and all the minute details. However, I've already done so in previous gearing videos. So if you want to hear more details behind gear tracks and the difficulty of content, as well as flight stones, crests, and the upgrade system, I'll have the video linked down below in the description. But for this video, I mostly want to focus on the tips of how to actively and efficiently gear in the patch 10.2.5. Starting with endgame raiding content. When gearing through raids, LFR difficulty is the most accessible one, but doesn't offer the best of gear. However, I will recommend most players to try to see if you can plug normal raids if possible. Gear from normal raids offers you a competitive starting point and is generally easy to get into. You should aim to have about 450 item level before you are able to join most normal raid groups. Play classes such as Death Knights, Paladins, and Warriors will also want to do LFR or normal raiding to slay Farak weekly for a slim chance to be able to start your legendary Axe questline. However, as a solo player, pugging through heroic and even mythic raids becomes much more difficult without a proper raiding guild, as a lot of the random groups now will require for you to have already completed the heroic raid in order to join the heroic run, which is a bit of a catch-22 situation, and it doesn't really get that much better when it comes to mythic raiding with random groups. However, dungeons are a perfect avenue of PvE and game progression as a solo player, where dungeons can scale anywhere from starting level +2 all the way to +20 difficulty and beyond, where the increased difficulty makes enemies and bosses inside of these instances tougher, but also adds extra challenges for you to overcome. Joining random groups for dungeons can also be sometimes difficult if you're going for some of the more challenging keystones, since a lot of the groups will ask you to have a good score for Mythic Plus, but also a good item level. In most cases on my alt characters, I'll simply list my own keystone, which you can grab by completing a Mythic 0 dungeon. Afterwards, fill your dungeon with players that have relevant experience or a decent item level, and then push your keys upwards. Any keystones of +9 difficulty will drop normal raid equivalent gear at the end of that run, and that gear upgrades to heroic raid equivalent items at a +17 keystone level and above. And you can spam Mythic Plus keys as much as you want to, though it may be a good idea to brush up on some of the mechanics and some of the guides for Season 3, which I'll also have a video linked down below if you want to check it out also. Now, those of you that are more PvP oriented should know that PvP gear progression is its own endgame. PvP gear works best within PvP content, and it doesn't really work good in dungeons or raids. Also, dungeon and raid gear will never be as good as pure PvP gear within PvP content, which is why it is its own ecosystem. For PvP, things are more straightforward. You can get honor gear by earning honor from basic casual PvP activities such as battlegrounds. Eventually, you'll want to replace your honor gear with conquest gear, and you earn conquest from rated PvP activities such as 2v2s, 3v3s, RBGs, and even solo queue shuffle arenas. PvP gear also has open world alternatives, where you can turn on war mode and look for trouble out in the open world, completing PvP world quests in order to get bloody tokens and buying bloody token gear, or completing the weekly open world activity to earn a unique currency to buy better open world gear. And while you're out and about collecting gear, you also want to get your hands on your tier set as early as possible. The easiest way to do that is through the Revival Catalyst as of the 10.2.5 update, which allows you to gain more charges on your catalyst faster, which means fast tier set crafting. The Revival Catalyst will be located near Tierhold in Thaldraszus, and should already have 4 charges waiting for you if you are a returning player. Putting in Season 3 gear into the Catalyst allows you to convert it into tier set equivalents. Items such as helms, chest pieces, legs, gloves, and shoulder pieces will be imbued with tier set bonuses, and you want to get your hands on the 4 set bonus as soon as possible, as every single tier set is a huge upgrade for every class in the game. It's even worth converting some of the entry level gear into tier set items as early as possible, since you'll get more charges with every single week. As you interact with endgame content within Dragonflight, you'll also be able to earn slots within your Great Vault. Every single reset, the Great Vault will offer you 1 bonus item depending on your endgame activities from that week. Raids, dungeons, and PvP all help fill out that weekly bonus. You'll be able to earn more slots from the Great Vault, however, you always take away only 1 item, and earning more vault slots simply opens up more options for you to pick from. As someone who plays a lot of alt characters, I found it most efficient to do at least one Mythic Plus dungeon on every one of my alts, just to get a chance at earning some sort of a reward from the Great Vault. And even if you don't get an item that's an upgrade from the Great Vault, the item reward itself can be traded in for tokens, which can then be redeemed to get yourself more crests to upgrade gear, gold so then you can afford your enchants and consumables, and even sparks in order to create crafted pieces of gear. Speaking of crafted gear, if you want to remove RNG entirely out of gearing in Dragonflight, you can instead work on getting guaranteed crafted gear and items. To create crafted gear, you'll need spark fragments, which you will always get one from the weekly quest we talked about earlier in the video. Combining 2 spark fragments together allows you to create a Spark of Dreams, which is a primary item needed in order to create Season 3 crafted gear. And if you're just returning to the patch 10.2.5 of Dragonflight, then you should be able to earn some catch-up sparks for all of the weeks that you've missed so far from most endgame activities like raids, dungeons, or PvP, which should allow you to create a couple of these Sparks of Dreams very quickly. The benefit of crafting your own items or getting a crafter to make them for you is you can customize these pieces to have your best secondary stats, and even customize them with a variety of embellishments, or even craft unique items with pre-built embellishment effects, which are generally quite powerful. Though it may be a good idea to do some class research to find out which are the best embellishments for your class. Crafted gear can then also be further upgraded by converting some of your crests that you'll earn from endgame activities into nascent crests. These crests, however, have to be enchanted by an enchanter through a work order system, though most enchanters will do it for basically free as long as you provide your own mats. So if you craft an item now and then you want to upgrade it later, you'll be able to use the recraft system in order to upgrade the item down the line. PvPers can also use crafted gear also. You will just need to buy PvP badges from the PvP vendors, and then you'll be able to slot them into basic gear. And for now, that's going to be my entire list of ideas of some of the things you can do right now to help yourself catch up for the patch 10.2.5. I want to thank all of you so much for watching this guide video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.